Yeah.
What's something that like day to day we're using that we could use a fix? Like obviously toilets are at their apex. Porcelain's the right thing.
Ooh, something that could be just way
way
improved.
better.
Oh man,
I think traffic lights suck. I think
traffic lights
could
could
be my whole life.
Yeah.
I think they've been the same since they added the LEDs or whatever to make them like extra bright and that slightly different shade of green. I haven't seen a difference.
Sorry to bring this back to cars, but it is my area of expertise. I was just in Germany, and I've been to Germany a bunch. It's where car shit happens, so I go to Germany a lot. But variable speed limits that change depending on the conditions.
Ooh.
You know, middle of the night, no speed limit, go as fast as you fucking want. You know, commuting hours, speed limit's 120 kilometers an hour, which is like 60, you know, or 65. You know, bright sunny day, 130 kilometers an hour. It's raining, 80 kilometers an hour, and it changes. And the cars are connected. So there are no speed limit signs. The sign is on your fucking gauge cluster, and you will hit a new section and it will change right like that. And it will go, and all the cars will pick up speed immediately. And
that's a great idea.
Civilized.
I didn't.
But
know
you know what
that
America has that's similar. That's also good. When the bridges are like 8 lanes wide, and when everyone's going into city, it's like 6 and 2. And when they go out of the city, it's 2 and 6 or whatever.
Yeah,
that's smart.
The little machine that moves the center barrier.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah. That would be very civilized. I met the guy. I went to a tech conference last year, and I met the guy who invented the iPod. Okay, this guy's a fucking boss.
He was dead.
For Steve Jobs. He was in charge of the iPod team under Steve Jobs, and he then went on to invent the Nest thermometer or the Nest thermostat controller.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and when he described the process of like figuring out like what they were going to do next, like what the thing was going to be that they were going to fix because they'd revolutionized music, right, or whatever. And someone was like fucking with the air conditioning on the wall. And he's like, I don't know how to fucking work this thing. And he was like, ding, you know, and they were like, why? Everybody has one of those. Why is it such a piece of shit? And they bought every single thermostat you could buy, all of them. And they put them all up on this big white wall. And they're looking at them like, why are these all garbage? Like, we have smart devices. Like, why can't you just fucking turn a knob? Like, why is this not so much easier? And then and then they invented the Nest, and now he's got like
they're fantastic
billions of dollars. Yeah, they are.
That's a great idea. Awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Is that like that kind of thing to improve?
Right. Yeah, like laundry machines, like really smart laundry machines would be great. Or like,
yeah, you know what?
I want to
washer and dryer should be one machine. It should wash it, and
they have that.
They have that.
Yeah, they have that. The dryer
function
is not quite as effective as
that. Sounds like my dryer already. I'll try it.
Do any of you guys have, or have any of you guys seen like the very latest induction stoves?
No.
So like my friend just got one and it is fucking rad. Like I love I love gas stoves.
Is it better than gas? Okay, I mean, Biden.
It's like it's better. Like, okay, it's better and it's worse. Like if you're a chef, if you're like a fucking hardcore chef, nothing beats a super powerful gas stove. And I installed the most fucking super powerful gas stove in my house. So powerful it required a bigger gas line. I have a 3/4 inch gas line going to my stove. It's 36,000 BTUs. Okay.
What are you cooking?
Everything. that notwithstanding.
That is a big gas line.
It's a huge gas line. I have a commercial gas meter at my house.
Are you entertaining a lot? Dozens of people, whole pigs?
Dude, when we renovated the house, I was like, I want this fucking beast stove. And I wanted a heater that would heat my pool and my hot tub like real fucking fast. So I have a 1-inch gas line for my pool heater and a 3/4 for my stove. It's ridiculous. But the new induction stove tops where
saving on that water though.
There are, we're doing good with the water.
Those buckets in the shower seem like horse shit now. Do you see what I'm looking for? When it doesn't matter about the straws, folks.
I follow the fucking law. The law didn't say shit about your pool.
He's not
man.
going to swim in cold water, man, and he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Live
He's
it up.
evaporating buckets and buckets of water out of his steaming hot pool. But
Yeah.
I don't
90
keep the pool
degrees.
hot all the time. The pool right now is like over 80
Sure.
degrees without the heater because it's fucking hot here in the
our
summer.
pool is
So
too.
I don't
You know what
use
it costs to cool a pool? Oh.
I got a 1-inch Freon line direct to the side.
And a nuclear power plant.
Yes.
No, but the newest induction stoves are really cool because it's just a black square. Okay. And sometimes not even. They can put them underneath the countertop. So you don't have a stove at all. And you can put the pot anywhere on the black stove. It's not like a ring where the burner is here. It's anywhere. And you can even put it here and then move it, and the burner will follow it. And so if you touch it, it's not hot. If your kid fucking falls on it, it won't burn them. And it's more powerful than electric. And it's the whole area. And you could do it through the countertop. So you can just put the fucking pot on the counter and turn it on, and it will just boil water through your countertop. It's fucking badass. It's so cool.
That's really cool.
Do you need special pots and pans?
Yes, but they're not like insanely expensive. They just need to be induction burner friendly, and most companies make them now. Yeah, it's my new shop. We're building a kitchen in, and we're putting one in there because it's just the raddest thing ever.
That's
yeah,
neat.
cool. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
I like gas a lot, and I never considered that there was different, like a huge variation on the power of your gas stove until I saw maybe it was some Asian cooking where they've got a wok and they were making fried rice, and I noticed that underneath that wok, it reminded me of my dad's like poultry farm, the burners that they use for heaters there. It's just blasting the bottom of that thing with two different rings of like high volume.
If you get a proper wok setup like they would have in a restaurant, the amount of fire that comes out under the wok. I mean, mine's really powerful for a home stove, but like it's not wok level. But I went to Guy Fieri's kitchen and he had one, and it was like, so.
You know what I was thinking for my item that could be better? Tires. Matt might correct me on this, but it just seems like a bad system. You know, we have to replace the sides of the tires, even though they're oftentimes pretty new when you replace a tire. They're filled with air. I feel like there could be a better suspension system than air. Air shocks are not top of the line. Why are air tires top of the line?
Well,
I don't know how to do it better, but something could
have the airless tire. And I don't know, Zach did a BRB, but if he's back, pull up the Michelin airless tire, which it works very well for low speed stuff. They haven't figured out how to make a good tire that can go really fast and handle really good hard cornering without air. But they do have the airless tire that's good for off-roading. Yeah, there it is. Off-roading or for like lower speed stuff like UTVs.
Remind me of the
UTVs
NASA
are
tires?
lawn equipment. Yeah, they look like the Lunar Rover tires.
Yeah.
The Lunar Rover tires are actually made of metal. They're made of a metal mesh.
It seems like you should be able to replace the surface and just like, I don't know, slide that one off, pop a new one on, and it would be good for the environment.
Well, so on semi trucks, they do that. Semi trucks where they do the retreads, where they keep it and they do the retread.
Same concept.
Right. With a passenger car, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And yeah, there's the passenger car.
There's a lot of tire waste. It's a huge thing. Like,
I mean, and
they make great fuel.
Some tires can be recycled in certain ways. They shred them and they use them for that material where they make the ground in like playgrounds and shit out of them.
Sometimes garden hoses.
I like that stuff a lot. Yeah, I do like that stuff a lot.
We got hurt a lot as kids on those wood chips because the wood chips would be irregular, and so there'd be big long spears in there. My cousin did that thing where you get going on a swing set and then fly, and I think he landed on his knee in a funny way. This is when he was a younger, 12 or 13. He put this splinter of wood through his kneecap.
Yikes.
Like,
Yeah, it's
those
not
things
good.
were super dangerous. But I remember
Yeah.
whenever we go to a playground that had the shredded up tires, or even for landscaping for houses, if it's fine enough, it looks good. I don't know.
There's this kid in our grade school who would like pick because I'm just now realizing that must have been a budget thing for my elementary school that they didn't want good wood chips because I had the same ones, those like long shards. And there was this kid that would like pick them up and like put them in his little like belt or pocket, like they were a knife, and he would
Like it was
poke
a
people
shiv?
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we're 5. What's going on with you at home? Like,
And there'd be irregular ones that look like guns a little bit. So we'd have
Yeah.
a little gun, that was fucking
Yeah.
childhood. We'd start
Yeah.
a gang. We'd all swear a blood oath, write it on a piece of paper and bury it. That was
You know what
playground.
could be improved? Sprinklers. Like lawn sprinklers.
Yeah.
And I actually did see some fucking Instagram ad. It probably only works if you have like the typical suburban, 100-foot by 100-foot square backyard with nothing in it, where it's just grass, where it basically like almost like 3D, like it laser shot the fucking thing. So it scanned your lawn and it precision watered on some like Instagram ad. But like I think sprinklers could be more efficient. They like, they water go the things that pop up aren't that great. Like they could be more better.
It shouldn't be above the ground ever. None of the water
Right.
should never go into the air to evaporate. It should all
Right,
be underground, like heated floor systems in houses.
Right.
How
Yeah.
you've got that conduit.
That might be better than my idea. I pictured something like a Roomba that just shot down and went all over your yard, like dragging a hose
Fill your
around.
yard with porous hoses that under
Right.
a certain pressure just leak, and then turn it to fucking 10 psi, and it like oozes water slowly to your grass.
We have that at my house, where part of the part of the landscaping where there's trees and bushes has what they call bubblers under the ground, but the lawn itself has the things that pop up and spray. So I think they could improve that system.
Yeah.
how about
Has to be.
clamshell packaging? We could
entirely
entirely get rid of that and come up with something better. Pretty
So
fucking
your
easy.
stance is wrong. See, you're taking this as a consumer, though. You're acting like they make clamshell packaging for the ease of the consumer, and they can't figure out how to make it easier to get into their valuable goods. When in reality, they've made it very difficult on purpose, and they've drawn a fine line between too difficult to for a consumer to get into, and too difficult and not easy enough for a thief to get into in Walmart and slip that whatever the fuck into his pocket. So they're not going to change that because they like it just how it is. You just
I don't have a solution for what Kyle said, but part of the beauty of clamshell packaging is how well you can see the product, right? If I just put something in a box like your PlayStation comes in, you don't actually get to see the PlayStation. And if it's a shiny toy that you're selling to kids, you need to see it. So what I want is half clamshell and then the other half cardboard backing. And that's pretty easy to get into and also displays the product.
It's the all plastic clamshell that you have to cut in with a knife and then like rip it apart and like people
stab yourself in the palm trying to open that shit.
I don't remember how many, but there are people who die every year from cutting themselves so deeply, like probably through their paper elderly skin on those that they bleed.
Yeah.
Like
people go to the ER every
sharp.
Christmas, you know.
Yeah.
I've definitely cut myself opening.
I've cut myself on them. Yeah, the ones that are good is it's like both sides are clamshells, but on the top, in between the two sides, there's a perforated plastic strip that you go like rip, and then you can separate it cleanly. But to Kyle's point, a lot of these products are high value, like per weight, and so they're like, well, yeah, we need to make it sure that this like gaming mouse can't be slipped into a pocket, and so it's in this giant, clamshell in the brick and mortar store. But even so, that fucking sucks. We have to use shitty packaging because of thieves.
There's two things that I think we need to stop before they get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're both related to cars because, again, this is my wheelhouse. One is we went from a key to a start button. Okay, it's fine. No problem. We can press start. That's nice, right? The valet situation, we had to train ourselves to make sure to give the fob to the valet and not leave with it, right? But now they're getting rid of the start button. And we are now too late. Yeah, Tesla started it. Rivian's on it. Lucid's on it. I just drove a Volvo, electric Volvo that had no start button. You have to get in it and put your foot on the brake, and then it's just on. Which I
don't
hate.
like that.
Because there are all kinds of reasons, and then it doesn't, to get out, to turn it off, you just get out and walk away and lock it, and then it turns off. There's all kinds of reasons to want to turn your car off or want to turn your car on that don't involve stepping on the brake or walking away from the fucking car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to eliminate
that. Bad idea.
I have an idea that you might not like, but I do. They have sometimes gotten rid of the shifter, right? So like my truck, for example, it's an F-150. If you guys know it, it has a big center console shifter, right? Like it's way too big for like to fuck someone with it. It's giant. And on the Dodge, for example, they just put a little dial on the dash.
Hockey puck. Yeah, they do the hockey puck.
Way better. I would love to reclaim this really valuable space in between the driver and the passenger for, I don't know, a phone charging little platform.
So trucks are really interesting. In a lot of cars, most transmissions are electronically controlled, and they can use anything from a buttons to a hockey puck to a column stalk like Mercedes has. Ford, their customers love that lever. They love it. Their truck customers love the lever. And in fact, the photo that's shown here, I believe, is the F-150 Lightning. And that lever can actually fold flat out of the way entirely, emphasizing that it's not a real lever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that one is a weird one that it's like the type of people that buy those trucks just want that lever feel. As opposed to the puck or the buttons or whatever, but it is not a necessary thing.
Do you know why? I think I'll tell you why I would prefer. I wouldn't buy a truck that had the puck, because if I'm backing up a trailer or something, I need to be able to, like, if I'm turning my head and lurching back trying to get a boat to do a thing, I want to be able to reach blindly, grab the shifter and put it right where I want it, and never have to turn around and be like, wait, did I click it all the way? Did it engage? I don't know. I need tactile feedback.
It's not intuitive.
And when I fucking move a column shifter or whatever, and I hear click, 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 like I know what gear I'm in. I can do it. If you're using it as a tool, there's going to be a lot of backing up and going forward. It's not just commute.
Imagine snow plowing with buttons. You know what I mean? Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Could be on the steering wheel like your radio controls.
I mean, there's all different kinds of ways to do it.
I don't need any help turning my volume
Another consideration with trucks is that they want them.
If you ever short stroke a button, you kill somebody.
Ford in particular wants people who are wearing heavy gloves to be able to do it. So if you're working in the winter and you're getting in and out of the truck, they want people to be able to do it. It's just a choice. Yeah, it's just a choice. Other cars do it other ways. I mean, there's arguments to free up that center console space for whatever else, and there's arguments that people want the tactile feel, and there's arguments that you want it to work with gloves on. And so I think Ford, at least to their credit, you do need the thing to change gear, but if you need that space for something else while you're working, you can press the button, that shifter goes flat, and then you can flip over the center console and it's a workstation, which is actually pretty creative.
I like it on the column so much better. I would
on the column, not in between.
Columns, a bunch of people do the columns. Yeah, Rivian does column, Tesla does column.
Something shit with this happened to me earlier today, like a car related, ironically, is like the gas opening lever on every car now is in a different place than where it was 12 years ago. I was walking out to my car from a gas station today, and this woman who frankly was parked 8 feet from the pump, like wasn't
Taylor,
even
you already
close.
said woman, you're being redundant.
Yes. She wasn't even close to the pump. And like she was like opening her side and she's like, "Sir, do you know where the gas thing is on this car?" And in my head, I'm like, I worked at Enterprise for a while. I should know this. And so I went over there and like looked, couldn't find the little lever. And I'm like, oh, this is a Chevy. You just push it and you pop it in. And then it pops out. And I remember like when I worked at Enterprise in like 2013 or whatever, that's when they made a huge shift in all of these. And so like every Ford that came in had a different lever than where the Chevys was at the time. And the Volvos had a button. And then the other ones you had to reach under the seat. You had to like tell people before they rented a Kia at the time, like, now it's not where it should be.
Yeah,
it's in a random place.
Yeah,
it was fucking annoying as
now
shit.
They're all electronic releases, so they can just put the button wherever it's easy.
That's no good.
Opposed to a lever connected to a cable.
That's no good.
Yeah, you should be able to like
bad about that,
push
Kyle?
it. And
what if my battery's fucking dead? What if the car's
no gas for
down?
you, bud?
That's why
if
I'm
your
on the side of the
battery's
road with a
dead, you
dead
don't
battery
need
out of
gas.
gas.
Yeah,
but
both die at the same time.
It's what if there's a multi-phased problem here where the battery's only dead? You know what I mean? Like
I bet you can pull on the gas cap with a little enthusiasm; it'll pop open.
You would break it, but you could.
Would you?
If you needed to? Yeah, you would. You'd break the lock thing.
You know what my Ford has? I'm just real quick, Kyle. That I love. There's no gas cap. There's just a hole in there, and when you stick the gas, what is it called? The pump, the nozzle, the tube. It just pushes it out of the way. The fuel dick.
Ford owns the patent on that, and any other car you see, they had to pay Ford to use the rights to that.
It's so wonderful. I hate the gas cap. I hate screwing it off.
They started doing that a long time ago. They started doing it like 2008, I think. They've had it for a while. Yeah, the easy filler.